Great day, honeys. Hola, cariños. Yeah, I think I'm trying to make sure I'm going live on Instagram as well because some people don't want to migrate over. So I am going to get that set up over here on the side, and hopefully I'm gonna have to make some adjustments so I can be in that camera as well. Let's see. Great day, great day, great day. I'm about to shift some things around, ain't it, y'all? Let me see. All for the people. Okay, oh, this should be perfect. Okay. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Y'all make sure little desk. Hey, honey. Hey, Ebony, honey. Make sure you guys, make sure you all let me know that you are in the room. I guess it's a room, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. It is a beautiful day simply because we are alive and well, okay? We are here for All the Fields February, and I'm excited. Yeah, I tickle myself. And I think I'm more amused that even if you all don't join in, I'm going to have all the fun in the world all by my little lonesome. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. I'm streaming in all three spaces, so I think we're good to go. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? What's new? Tell me about your week. Hey. Oh, hello. Tell me about your week. How are things? Thank you all for joining in for All the Fields February. We're going to be writing every Tuesday in the month of February. I'm doing a live journaling for all of 30 minutes. You can gift yourself 30 minutes of time, 30 minutes of writing, 30 minutes of releasing, 30 minutes of simply connecting with yourself. And I'm here to help you do that. You're welcome. You're welcome. But yes, how's everybody's week so far? It's only Tuesday, but a lot can happen in just a couple of days. So tell me all the things. How are you? Yay! I'm glad you caught it too, Ebony, honey. And y'all, it's super quick. It's 30 minutes. And I stick to the 30 minutes, unless, of course, there's just something that comes about or someone needs some additional support or something of that nature. So, okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started so that way I can, it's 7:03. It's 7:03. Okay. So, y'all, essentially what we're doing, we are going to talk about all the feels. And the biggest reason that I did this, thinking about Black History Month, there's a lot of feelings and thoughts that come along with that. Thinking about the fact that, little Valentine's Day or whatever like that, it's coming up on Monday. I thought, hey, Monique, I thought to just have space where people can come together. We can talk about all the different feelings that come up in general, and of course, like around these particular times. So tonight, we're actually going to be talking about safe spaces and the importance of that as it relates to our feelings and all of those great things is, have we been able to identify who our safe spaces are? Have we been able to identify when I am just not feeling my best, right? When Ashley's not at 1,000, which it happens sometimes on occasion. When I'm not at 1,000, who do I confide in? When I'm not at 1,000, who do I connect to and just really share, hey, this is the space I'm in, right? And the beautiful thing about really allowing for yourself to think about those things is that you realize that some people are waiting for you to confide in them. They're waiting to support you. They're waiting to be by your side and really, jump in and support. And so that's what our focus is tonight. And so the way that this works for you all who maybe were not here last week, I'll toss a couple different prompts up on the screen. You can write about those things. Feel free, of course, to drop those, your responses in the chat in case you don't feel like writing. It's perfectly fine. But the goal is just to give you more tools that you can use, content you can use, tools you can use for your emotional wellness and while you're on this journey. And what I'll insert right here, y'all, is that your emotional wellness journey does not end, okay? It's not, oh, I've had 15 therapy sessions, woohoo, emotional wellness. What it is in your journey, you continue to gain more resources, right? You continue to gain to add more things to your arsenal to use in those moments where you maybe need to cope through something, or where you need some additional emotional support. But it's your emotional wellness and your self-discovery journey is not one that comes to a total stop. I went through a self-discovery journey, I think at 28. So a few little years ago, honey. I know, but I'm saying it was a few years ago. But I went through my emotional, my self-discovery journey, lots of emotional wellness, surrounded myself with all the best things, all the best therapy, all the things, right? And really started to explore myself. And now at 34, I'm like, ooh, there's still some more things to do. And for the most part, I get very excited about that, because I'm like, oh, I'm learning more about me, right? And you get to give yourself that same exact gift by knowing that, okay, even though I overcame this before, things look a little different now. I'm more prepared, but it doesn't mean that your emotional wellness journey has come to a stop at all. So we're gonna get started. Let's see. So last week we talked about kind of listing out your emotions. That replay is available on Facebook and YouTube for those who maybe weren't here. If you want a direct link, just let me know and I'll send it over. Okay. All right, y'all. We're 6 minutes in. Let's go. Let's start here. So I'll read this for you all who are over on Instagram. I have it here on Facebook. But how many of you can identify safe spaces or people to confide in? How many of you know, when you think about your go-to person, your go-to people, are you able to identify those people? And I would love for you all to tell me some of the qualities they possess, be it an actual physical place or space, or be it an individual. What environment is created for you to feel safe? What about that person makes you feel safe? So you all can drop those items there in the comments. But again, how many of you can identify safe spaces or people to confide in? And you can just list some different characteristics about the spaces or the people. And while you all are doing that, I'm going to think about that too. But I don't have to think about it. But for me, I have a good handful of safe spaces that I've identified over the years. And I think what I love about knowing those safe spaces is simply that they're there when I need them. And that's not the only reason that they're there. But if I'm ever, again, not feeling 1000, if I have a lot on my mind, if some days are just more challenging, or if I don't feel connected to myself, I know that I can talk to these people about that. I know I can call them up and say, "Whoo, child, this ain't it today." And I'm okay. There's no shame. There's no judgment. There's no, "Oh, girl, you better trust Jesus." Some of those things may come later, the trusting Jesus part, but they hear me. They listen to me, right? They acknowledge the fact that even though I'm typically on 1000, right now it's not that moment. And they're okay with that. They're not trying to hype me back up to 1000. They're not trying to say, "Oh, girl, it's all right." They simply let me. They let me be. They let me share. They let me express. And in me identifying those spaces, they're going to be there. Hey, Vivian, honey. They're going to be there. Hey, Jamal. They're going to be there for me. Vivian, y'all, we're talking about safe spaces. So we're talking about if you currently are able to identify who or what are safe spaces for you when you're not feeling your best emotionally, when you have a lot on your mind, do you know and are you aware of the people or places that you can connect to let that be known? And what space, hey honey, hey Keisha honey, and what space do they create for you? Like what when you think about the people that you confide in, what elements are there for you to feel safe? How are they responding to you? How are they speaking to you? How are they, like, what is that like? So just different things for you all to think about. And for our actual writing prompt, I'm going to jump over here. You can make this a writing prompt in terms of identifying those safe spaces, and that can be a list. You can list the people by name. You can list the attributes that they offer, the space they hold for you, just so that way you're able to connect. A lot of us we hold so many things in. We don't talk to people. We're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of, all these different things. How are they going to respond? and all the while you suffer in silence. And in order for that to not be the case, in order for you to give more power to your voice and to really step up and stand up, you get to flesh out that list and say, hey, these are people that I know I can talk to. These are people that I know are going to listen. Okay, so your actual prompt is, what helps you feel emotionally safe? What helps you feel emotionally safe? Again, if you all don't, I'm going to do a little writing. I don't think it's awkward if you guys just sit and watch me write. I think it's fine. I of course would love for you all to also add things to the comments here on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. If you aren't in the mood to write, or if you just want to reserve this for a later writing time. But what helps you feel emotionally safe? So I'm going to write just for maybe like a couple of minutes. I know in internet world, 2 and 3 minutes can feel like a long time, but it really doesn't have to be. Maybe I'll play some music next time. I'm not sure. I think I said that last time too, y'all. But again, for those who maybe are just joining, we're writing about, thank you, Keisha. She says she loves our background. Thank you, Vivian, for writing that. Yeah, I don't know, I can pin it. I was like, how do I pin stuff? Yeah, I'm learning a whole lot about this little, the technologies and such. What helps you feel emotionally safe? Again, you all can jot those things in the comments. You can actually do your writing. If you want to, you can save it for a later time. The goal is really just to give you all different prompts and some tools that you can use whenever you need them. So you may not need it tonight, but I think it's always good to explore some different things. So what helps you feel emotionally safe? Keisha, I think the rest of your comment got cut off over there, honey. So I'll wait for the next for the rest of your message. She says, I'm learning that everyone makes mistakes and that I can hold myself accountable without beating myself up when mistakes are made. Absolutely. And that's the thing. I think we have to investigate to figure out where did that behavior come from, right? Where did the thought come from that I have to feel bad about something for forever, right? Simply because, I need to own this thing. I did it. I need to own it. And I'm going to carry this around with me for forever. How about no? How about you can acknowledge that, dang, I really messed up. Like, dang, that sucks. That is unfortunate. And you give yourself a few minutes to feel that and to hold yourself accountable. But then you decide to not carry that with you for forever. Because when you think about it, what purpose does that serve? And the more that we carry those things around and hold those things in, like our body physically begins to respond to those things, right? And so when we have safe spaces that we can express those things to, they give us another perspective. They give us another voice to listen to say, hey, you know what? You've acknowledged that. And now you get to grow from it. Now you get to move on. Now you get to decide, what am I going to do differently next time? So I love that, Keisha. Thank you for mentioning that. Because everyone does make mistakes. And that's a whole nother thing of figuring out why we believe we have to be insanely perfect all of the time and that we're never going to make any mistake ever in life. And that's how I used to feel. Not that I wouldn't make mistakes, but I used to feel like I had to do everything exceptionally well. And it's like, but why? Like, why? Anywho, you all are welcome to share anything that you have written in terms of your what helps you to feel emotionally safe. A couple of things for me. I feel emotionally safe when I can be entirely honest. I've learned that in some relationships, I filter myself. I hold myself back from being insanely honest, right? And not so much now. I'm a very vocal person, but it used to be that either I assumed that this person can't handle this information. Oh, if you label yourself as the strong friend, you may think, child, they ain't got nothing to offer back, like all of these different things. So for me, when I can be entirely honest, about where I am mentally, emotionally, like physically, where I am, spiritually, all of those things. When I can really be vocal about that, I feel safe. I feel safe. I feel seen. I feel heard. And I feel as though I can keep coming back to share these things. It's kind of like whenever we choose a therapist, right? Sometimes that can be a journey, honey. Okay. But the more that you go, you begin to feel okay with being vulnerable. You begin to feel okay with being seen. You begin to feel more and more settled and comfortable with sharing yourself with this person because there's been something that's been added to that environment, and there's been a relationship built that helps you to see, okay, I can trust this person. This person can handle the information that I'm sharing with them, right? Um, Keisha says, I feel emotionally safe when people who have been consistent in my life, with people who have been consistent in my life, and people who exemplify integrity. Absolutely. Keisha, tell me why those two things are important. Tell me why the consistency is important, and then tell me why them exemplifying integrity is important. And I'll just share as you're responding to that. The consistency of things is definitely okay, Rebecca, I'll wait for you to finish. I think you hit enter a little too soon, Rebecca, so I'll wait for you to finish your message, and I'll respond to Keisha's here. But yeah, I think that with the consistency over the course of time, it builds that trust. If you got people just popping up in and out, it's like, well, okay, I'll just, I maybe won't share my whole life story with you, right? We have people in different pockets or in different categories. And so someone I may see on the fly, or someone that I maybe haven't built an intimate relationship with, I maybe don't share some of those rougher days, right? But for someone who has been super consistent and they've shown themselves to be available and present, that helps me to be more at ease when sharing. But yes, Keisha, the integrity piece, excuse me, y'all. It's nice to build relationships with people who aren't going to jump ship at the first sign of conflict. Amen. And I'll offer this to y'all too, and this could just be a whole different conversation. I think when we allow for ourselves to think about safe spaces, I think there has been previous trauma associated. So to Keisha's point, that whenever I do divulge information about myself, whenever I do unload, so to speak, and I share, and I tell you, hey, I'm in a dark place right now, right? And then if you just get gone, not what I'm supposed to do. So I think a lot of people are carrying those former hurts as well around, like with them, and not like, oh, it's a burden, but we're more mindful of that as we enter into new relationships. And so I think that's where the consistency part comes from. I've known you for a certain amount of time. We've gone through and grown through some things together, and now I've built something with you where I know you aren't just going to leave when I become more vulnerable. Let's see. Vivian says, when I don't have to explain myself, when I said what I said, and, and that's that, I feel safe. I love it. Rebecca says, I feel vulnerable with those who are vulnerable with me, even if their vulnerability looks different. Oh, Rebecca, that's good. That's good, honey. I'm going to tell you why that's good in just a second. Keisha says, integrity is important because they've already shown they are trustworthy. So I feel more comfortable being vulnerable. Yeah. She says, Viv. Yeah, Vivian, listen, hey, I'm going to repeat what Vivian said, y'all. When I don't have to explain myself, when I said what I said, and that's that, I feel safe. Do people anticipate that we have to over-explain something for that to just be the case? And let me not even ask it in question form. Sometimes I'll state it. Sometimes people expect more. They expect more detail, more X, Y, or Z. You're not obligated to share that, to do that. And so I think with that, it's just a matter of, I've said what I've said, and that's that. So I love that bit. I love that you're aware of what you need for you to feel safe. I'll repeat Rebecca's comment as well. I feel vulnerable with those who are vulnerable with me, even if their vulnerability looks differently. What I love about that, y'all, is that sometimes we want for people to share the way that we've shared, and that just isn't going to be the case. There was some study done like a few years ago that showed if I'm in a relationship with one of you all, right? If I'm in a relationship and then I begin to share something about myself, a part of you starts to let your guard down, and then you share things about yourself. And it really has the power to build your relationship. It has the power for you all to feed off of one another's vulnerability in a healthy way, right? In a mutually healthy way. So that way it builds that trust that Keisha's talking about. It builds that integrity, right? Because we're both sharing portions of ourselves. And over the course of time, that grows. But Rebecca, what I love about what you're offering there is that you get to honor their layer of vulnerability. You get to honor how they choose to be vulnerable. And it may not, and most times it doesn't look like your own. So I love that you even want to honor the fact that it will look differently. I think that's magnificent. I think that's so magnificent. And I guess I'll ask you all this just in these last few moments. When you think about vulnerability, how often do you all allow for yourselves to be vulnerable? Even for those who maybe are in committed relationships, for those who are married, for those who have best friends and close friends, is vulnerability like sewn and woven into the core of your relationship? What I found is we can know people, y'all, for a substantial amount of time. We can know people for 7, 8, 10, 20, 30 years, right? Well, yeah, because 34, I can know somebody at 4, but we can know someone for a large number of years. We can spend a lot of time with them. We could have taken trips with them. We could have done all of these different things. But have we allowed for ourselves to be for real, vulnerable with these people? And if so, awesome. If not, why not? Do we reserve that for a certain status? Do we just do we even not allow for ourselves to get there on purpose sometimes? I think the fear that's associated with the vulnerability is similar to what Keisha was saying, that someone could just run off with this information, right? That someone could use this information against us, that we have now, put our whole entire soul out there, and then there's that fear of rejection. But I've seen that even in the most intimate of relationships, people are afraid to be vulnerable. And some of that could be, to Rebecca's point, that some people have not seen that vulnerability from someone else. Or it could just be that we're totally guarded in every relationship that we're in, or most relationships that we're in, that we don't even allow for ourselves to just share the core of who we are, to share that life is sucking right now, that we put on this whole entire mask and put on this whole entire face of, oh yeah, everything's perfect, all things are awesome, even with our partners, with our best friends. So I would challenge you all that as you're thinking through who your safe spaces are, you may not even come up with anyone on your list initially, but when you think about it, and you think about someone who's been consistent, when you think about someone who's been integral, your list starts to get a little bit longer. And it's not to say you need 20 people on your list. You need a good handful of people that you can trust and confide in. But I think the largest piece of this particular exercise for all of us is going to be that we realize that those people are there. This is my experience. I realized in this past year of life that there was a host of people that I could be more vulnerable with that I just was choosing not to be. Because in my mind, I am emotionally self-sufficient. I'm emotionally reliant on Ashley. I can do all things through me and Jesus, right? But it was amazing that when I chose to share, when I chose to express more, when I chose to be vulnerable, that there were these people there ready to support me, ready to guide me, ready to listen to me every single day, versus me just feeling as though I can resolve all things in myself. And so now my list of safe spaces has gotten longer. My list of safe spaces has gotten, like, there's more quality to it, if you will. So as you start writing out your list, you're going to find that you think you maybe don't have a whole lot of safe spaces, or, oh, I can't talk to anybody about this. No one's going to understand. Do they have to understand? Like, do they have to understand? Does someone have to understand you to listen? Does someone have to understand you to embrace you if you need to be embraced? Does someone have to understand? Like, ask yourself, are you placing limitations on who can be there for you? Or if you're fully open to more people being safe spaces for you. Again, not 2011 people. Get you a good 3 to 5. But a good handful of people that you know you can trust. And you don't know you can trust them, you all, until you allow for yourself to trust them. So I'm not saying I don't. Let me put this little disclaimer out there. Don't y'all run off of here talking about what Ashley told me to bare my soul to the world. That's not what I said. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is give people a chance. Start to share more of yourself. Start to be more open. Start to be more curious. Start to just begin to share like random things about yourself, and not to test people. I don't believe in testing people, but to start to give other people an opportunity to bear your load with you. We do not have to live life in isolation. We do not have to live life alone. We have people around us who want to love us, who want to support us, who want to walk this life hand in hand. Rebecca, honey, take it. It's free for you, baby. Take it. Take all the things you need, honey. I didn't even plan to go this route, but y'all see how the good Lord how he be doing us. But yes, y'all, like, be open. And this I can only share with you, not only because wisdom helps me to share more, but I'm sharing more of what my journey has been when it comes to vulnerability. And it was hard. It was a very hard journey, but I realized it's not that I can't trust people. It's not that I don't trust people. And it's not that people aren't there. The people are there, but am I giving them room and space to be there for me? Am I giving them room and space to show up in the way that I've shown up for them? So for those of you who count yourself to be the strong friend, for those of you who feel like I don't need anybody emotionally, I'm sound, I got this under control, I'll work it out within myself. Even if you have the capability to, it doesn't mean you have to. It does not mean you have to. I've had friends, you all, who will literally come to my house to sit on my couch with me, and we'll just watch movies. And we'll chat and we'll talk here and there. But it's the idea of letting them into my space and me knowing that whenever I'm ready, they're ready. They've always been ready. It was me. I was the problem. But it was, you have to allow for yourself to simply share. Their ears are there, their eyes are there, their attention is there, and be okay with vocalizing the type of space you need to feel more comfortable with sharing. Vivian said, hey, I said what I said, and that's that. Let them know, hey, I'm going to share this. When I say it, that's what it is. If I need for you just to listen, if I want a venting session, if I need some support or some guidance or advice, but be okay with guiding people on how to best support you, how you feel seen. So yeah, I mean, y'all, that's it. I didn't know what direction this was going in, honeys, but that's the direction it went in. But yes, you all, give those around you room to support you. We do not have to live life alone. We're not meant to live life alone, like, at all. So just allow for them to enter into that next layer of who you are. That's really it, and that's really all. Allow for people to be there for you. I think with all the different things happening in the world, in our day-to-day lives, humans need other humans. And it's just that simple. And that human that you share with doesn't have to be perfect. They don't have to, what they have to be is what you've laid out for them to be. They have to be caring. They have to be kind. They have to be a listener, whatever those things are. But they don't have to be perfect. And what you'll learn is that, and here we are, I'll end here. One of the main reasons I started Strokes of Freedom was for people to share their stories. And that's more that I'm getting back into. And some of you all have heard me mention more of this, but it's the idea of, our minds are sometimes tricked to think that we're the only person experiencing this, right? We're the only person going through this. No one will ever understand. And all of these different things, right? All these different tricks of the mind, all of these mind monsters, all these tricks of the enemy, right? And so what I've learned is that we will overcome every single time when by the blood of the Lamb, for one, but also by the word of our testimony. The more that you share, God, y'all, you'll realize that you are not alone in anything you're experiencing. If I've never gone through something that Vivian's going through, it doesn't mean that I don't have empathy or sympathy or compassion for her circumstance. And the same is true the other way around. So the more that you begin to share bits and pieces of your life, bits and pieces of what you're transitioning through and what you're growing through, you'll find that there's something that someone else can offer you. And that something else may not be a solution to the issue, but it will be a listening ear. It will be compassion. It will be encouragement. It will be support. It will simply sometimes be their presence. So, but you don't know that until you allow for yourself to open up more and share life with another human. So all of that to say, make your list of safe spaces, of safe people that you can confide in on the darkest of days and on the lightest of days to celebrate with, and give them that opportunity to support you on this incredible journey of life, because that's what it is, baby. It's a little journey, honey. Okay. But all right, y'all, that is it. And that is all. I'm 1 minute over. I appreciate you all for joining me tonight, for sharing, for engaging. Make your list of safe spaces. That's all I got. You all be breezy. Y'all be awesome. Be great. Be kind. Be safe. Be compassionate. Be all the things. And just be open. All right, y'all. Peace out. I guess I'm gonna be here for like 2 more seconds because I gotta like close out everything. So it's a little bit premature. But okay, love you guys. Bye. Bye, y'all. Bye.